from KDL Auto Spares. We're starting with part 2 where we left off. So we took the engine out. Now it's time to get this engine bay sorted, all the issues and stuff that needs to get taken out and fixed. So this is my pile already of things that I've already stripped off. There's still quite a lot more to go. And so these arms that guide the bonnet to close, they also gonna be sent for electroplating and gonna be shining gold, so that's going to be very nice to see in the end also. Okay, there we go. Everything needs to come off the and the fender liners. I removed the passenger side already off camera, so this is the two top pieces and then these are the bottoms. This one, I think I'm gonna have to replace it. It looks like something happened here, I don't know. Okay guys, booster is out. So I don't know what booster this is from, but it wasn't working. This car had no brakes, so we're going back to the original booster and master setup. So yeah, this is going straight in the bin. And this is our pile of stuff that we managed to gather up for the day. Now we're gonna start with just cleaning the engine bay off a little bit, because if you can see here, it's very dirty. Yo, I don't know what messed here, you know, it's so black and grimy, and there's some rust from the tank, the water bottle. So I want to clean all this off and just make it look nicer, so it's easier to work on, and when we're done working on it, it will be a lot cleaner than if we work on it like this. Cleaning the engine bay as good as we can. So I used the wire brush on a few places because the grease didn't want to come off, and this doesn't want to come off either. But it's all cool because when we spray the car, we're anyways gonna sand the whole bay down, so all this is gonna come off anyways. But just for the meantime, while we're working on it, I just want it to be clean, and that's the best we could get it. So now let's cut off the cradle. Simple as that. And then we're going to cut the bottom off, and we're just going to shave the corners of what needs to be cut off on these sides. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Anybody who's going to be wondering, we're taking the original bottle caps off and we're just putting on loaners for now, because we don't want them to get damaged. They already are fully refurbished and have new tires on, so I don't want them to stand in the sun and like dog to pee on them and all them. By the time the car is done, they're going to need a refurb again, so we're just putting on loaners for now, and then we're going to carry on with stripping the car down for getting ready for paint, which is going to be the rear bumper and the door bearings. I would take out the back lights also, but I don't want water to go in there. The back bumper, we're gonna reuse it, we're just gonna spray it black. And this is rubbish because it's a front on the rear which doesn't sit properly, so we're not gonna reuse this either. It's the next day, we've turned the car around. I've finished grinding everything off, all around and under, and closed it up so that it doesn't rust. So now our cradle can go straight on. But today what we're going to be doing is jacking the car up and taking the whole suspension off its. Okay, so this steering knuckle, I'm going to clean it off and spray it silver again, heat resistant silver. And we had quite a play in the steering when the car was still driving, so that is all of our play. So I'm going to replace this rubber, and there's supposed to be a heat shield over here, so we're going to make sure to get that and sort that out. But yeah, this is the first order of business in the suspension removal. And it's much needed. That was a lot of play on our steering wheel. So the rubber is broken and this bolt is loose. Very dangerous. Yeah, if it doesn't want to come out, you just gotta hit the flat in between this wedge, and it will split it open and it makes it easier to come off. We removed all those. Now we can take the rack out. Simple as that. Just gonna put new rack ends, tie rod ends, a new boot this side, clean it up, spray it. There we go. Okay, so now we're loosening the lines that's going to the calipers. And then those lines going all the way to the booster are also going to be removed. Absolutely everything needs to come out of this engine bay. There mustn't be a single thing in the way if you want to do a proper job. Okay, I will already loosen the other pipe off video because that's a little boring. Now the next step is calipers off the struts. Just 2 bolts and it's off, simple as that. And the pads are still good on it too, so at least I don't have to replace those. Okay, this is the other side. Starting my pile of suspension parts. Half of it's going for sandblasting and powder coating, and the other half we're gonna refurbish and paint in-house. Okay. Simple as that. Now we're gonna loosen the 19 and get the control arm off of the strut. Guys, we're almost there. Anti-sway bar and the subframe is left to go, and that knuckle, then we're done. Once you loosen those 4 bolts, there's dowel pins. All you gotta do is push it down. There's the dowels I was talking about on the edge. Now it's out. Just gotta strip our anti-sway bar from our subframe and strip our springs from our struts. Then those things can all go for sandblasting and powder coating, and we're gonna press all new Dunlop bushings and ball joints in the control arms. Calipers is staying just like that, and then I've already told you guys what I'm going to do with the rack. But let's get started with the struts and to get that anti-sway bar off. Now for the scary part, removing the springs from the strut.
Just gonna happen with us one.
And I just skip in advance from that.
The movie there on top is gonna skip.
Okay, ready?
Go.
Yeah. Hey guys, false alarm with the struts. We thought the springs were gonna shoot out, but they came out quite easy. Now we're moving on. Okay, now we're removing the shocks from the struts. So it's got all these holes, so there's a special tool to do it, but if you like me, most of us, you just use a flat and you knock it. It's as simple as that. There are one that's very stubborn, you will be eating for hours, but luckily mine's been out not too long ago. And once that top nut is out, voila, there's your shock, which definitely needs a replacement. Same story for the other side. There you go, also needs a replacement. So these discs, even though they're rusty, they don't have ridges, so we're definitely going to reuse them. They are new, they've been replaced recently. So now I'm removing the signal wire for the fender indicator. I can cover them up, but I feel like it's going to be easier and neater to just take it out. So you just got to unplug it inside of the car and then there's a grommet, easy as that. Both brake lines are out, now it's just the clutch main pipe to come out, then all the pipes are out of the engine bay. Just gotta unclip, pull it out. There we go. That's the clutch main pipe. Now I'm gonna take out all these clips and grommets and screws that's holding on the sound antennae. So that's the last thing holding us back from actually being able to start doing work on this engine bay. So I'll get you guys once I've taken all the clips and stuff out when it comes off. First is the sound antennae, steel sound antennae that goes before the actual sound antennae. Now for the main sound antennae, it's quite damaged, so I'm not too worried if it gets damage coming out. We're gonna replace it anyways. There you go. This is going straight in the bin. Guys, the sound antennae is out. We found a little bit of damage, but it's cool. We'll fix that up with this little bit of damage. And then I'm very excited to show you guys this. I've been searching high and low, but I finally found one, an original battery tray, because as you can see, someone just made their own thing, which is complete rubbish, and we obviously want it to look OEM and original. So there it is, still good. Just need a little bit of sanding, but it will look just like new after a coat of spray. But we're going to do that all in the next video, because we got to tear down some parts on the interior, which is going to be a lot of work. So on the next video we'll show you all that work, the tearing down of the interior and the getting into the battery tray, and how to fix all these damages, including that. And we're going to be putting the cradle back on. And then this is our pile of suspension which we need to refurbish, repair and replace. We'll also show you in the next video how we go about doing all of that and what it looks like. So everything you see here is going to be looking like brand new when it comes back, shining, shining, shining. But now we're going to move on to the gearbox. Okay, so we're still waiting for our M20 motor. It's going to get a full rebuild. It's a 3 to 5, so yeah, it's at the engineers now getting built. That stuff will be maybe in another part, but for now, while we're waiting for the motor, why not be proactive and clean this gearbox? So you know, most guys would just put it back in like this. I'm not one of those guys. I have to clean this thing up. It's gonna bother me. I want to also have clean hands when I'm done working on the motor and gearbox when we actually put it in. So yeah, we're gonna wire brush this whole gearbox down, and we're gonna spray it with Bluxum, scrub it and pressure wash it. Then we're gonna spray it silver, heat resistant silver and clear. And yeah, I'm gonna start by taking off this mask, this slave which we're gonna reuse, and then this rubber we're gonna change it. You can see it's already breaking at the seam and stuff here, so you wouldn't want to be putting that right back in. And yeah, our M20 is going to be clean enough to eat off of when it comes back, so why not the gearbox be the same? So yeah, let's get to it. You see the damage there. What the gearbox looks like after hours and hours of wire brushing. Now the next step is to hoist some cleaner on it, some Bluxum, some degreaser, and pressure wash it off. Then she's ready for paint. Okay guys, it's time to clean the gearbox up. Spray it full of degreaser, all the spots where it needs it, especially inside of the bell housing. That's just to get whatever we didn't manage to get with the wire wheel off, which is not much. So we're gonna leave this on for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna scrub it and pressure wash it off. You can already see it doing its job. Okay, so we're just scrubbing in all the spots just to make sure we're getting those dirt particles and oil particles loose before we pressure wash. We have to do this before we spray, otherwise our paint will never stick to the oil. So if you're having issues when you're spraying, maybe it's your preparation. So yeah, just make sure of that. You spray the degreaser on and then you scrub it all over, then you pressure wash it off. It's time to pressure wash all the degreaser and oil off. here's the finished product. We've done all that we can, so whatever is left we're gonna just leave it like that and paint over it. If it hasn't come off now, it's not gonna come off anytime soon. You guys saw how that bell housing looked. Now you can actually see the aluminium to where it was pitch black before. So yeah, now we can let it dry off a little bit, mask it off, and then spray it with our heat resistant silver. Okay guys, now we are ready to mask off the gearbox. We're just gonna mask off the spots that we don't want to spray with the paint. So it's basically just the shifter and that top piece and like where the oil overflow is and the oil drain. Everything is masked up, the overflow for the oil, the filler, the drain, the yoke for the prop shaft, the shifter, the threads for our slave and a sensor. So now we're ready to lay down a coat. And we're also spraying this water pump and tensioner because we can't sandblast and powder coat them, obviously, because we'll melt the internals and damage the bearings and stuff. So these things can't be powder coated, so all the rest is going to be, but these two items in particular we gotta just spray it with a high temperature silver. Hey guys, this is what it looks like after 3 coats of heat resistant paint. I'd say it looks like new if you ask me. Shining bright like a diamond. It's the next morning. I've lit the part stand the whole day yesterday in the sun to bake, and the whole night last night. I've just stripped the masking tape off of all the stuff that I've masked off, looking very nice. So what we're gonna do with these are we're gonna glad wrap them and pack them away, because in the next video we're going to be stripping down our M20 and sending it to the engineers and sandblasting and powder coating all the components of the motor. So if you like what this gearbox, water pump and tensioner looks like, you'll love to see what the M20 is going to look like. We're using a chrome silver, which is much more shinier than this. So with that being said, we're going to be having now a clean gearbox to bolt onto our clean motor. So please do stay tuned. You don't want to miss the motor tear down and sending to the engineers and sandblasting and powder coating. That's going to be, I think, the best so far. So please like, subscribe and share, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks guys.